But that being said, there was a UFC card that happened last night. In case you guys didn't notice, Conor McGregor was fighting, right?
You've been under a rock.
Yeah. The king was back, and his throne was tarnished.
Yeah. The king took some money from some people, and then some of the peasants got rich.
Yeah, I was one of the when he stole. They robbed from me last night.
Where's
Conor
that
going
bread
down.
you owe me, McGregor?
So going into the fight, obviously it was a rematch. One fun stat that I had going in here: Dustin Poirier has never lost a rematch in his career. He's undefeated after he's coming off a loss. So this goes with 3-0 now. Great performance by him. I mean, Conor did come out strong in the first round.
Looked like your typical first round from Conor. Like, this is going to go the same. Conor's going to get the finish, but Dustin ate every one of Conor's best shots.
Conor hit him flush a few times, too. And Conor, I think, won round 1, 10-9.
Oh, for sure.
I'd give him that 10-9. Press him against the cage. His signature shoulder to the face. A little bit of that little nitro coming up.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Conor definitely won round 1. And he caught Dustin a few times. Even in round 2, he caught him as well, too.
He had Dustin shaky quite a few times.
But even though I picked Conor McGregor, I wanted to pick Dustin Poirier. I didn't have the balls to pull the fucking trigger. I did say, I was talking to Tony about this, if Dustin was going to win this fight, it was going to be pushed up against the cage. He's going to press him up, make it ugly, wear out Conor's arms. Because all of a sudden, Conor forgot about kicks.
Yeah.
Conor does not throw kicks anymore. His front kick, that one signature right up the gut, toe kick, that push kick, whatever you want to call it, Conor forgot about it. He don't use that no more. And
there may be some moments here, fellas.
On the flip side, this is gonna be a fun show. On the flip side, Dustin ate up that front leg, and I think that's a product of Conor relying on his boxing too much. He was way boxing heavy.
I mean, I also think that Conor, I was in the camp where I gave Dustin 1 out of every 10 fights to win this fight. I think Conor wins it 9 out of 10 times.
I was with you on that.
And I think a lot of this could be a lot of stuff. It could be all the stuff happening in Conor's, outside life. It could be that Dustin takes those shots heavier. He's more durable at 155. It could be Conor underestimated Dustin. He's like, I'm probably going to be in his head. I got the finish, in the first round, the last go out.
Right.
And that's was my point of view as well. So
I think it's a combination of all of that. One, just overall, Dustin is a completely different fighter than that last fight. He's way better. He's improved. He's been a champion. I know it's interim, but he's been a champion.
Taken some beatings. He's dished out
At
some
155,
beatings.
Dustin is a different fighter than 145.
Yeah.
Conor is not that good at 155. If you look at his record at the lightweight division, what's he like 1 and his only win was beat Alvarez.
He's 1-2.
That's the only one he's ever won at 155. So he's not that good at that weight. And Conor just seems different. A lot of people are praising his, his sportsmanship, and I think that was a detriment to him. That's a sign that he's not there no more. The savage Conor McGregor, the crazy, hungry monster that whipped himself in his frenzies to get these fights, he doesn't have that anymore.
Which begs the question, where does Conor go from here? I think that's the most interesting aspect of this whole situation. You saw, when we saw him on the canvas of that octagon, he was looking up
Well, I have two ideas.
He was
Conor
fighting
McGregor.
back tears and stuff,
If Conor is indeed still wants to fight, I mean, he does not have to fight. He can never do it. He doesn't work a day of his life. It's all by choice. But let's say Conor says he still wants to fight, still wants to be in MMA. I said there's two options. One, he goes down back to featherweight where he dominated, and that's where he goes and fights Holloway again.
I thought you were going to say he goes to Bellator for a second.
No.
I'm like, damn, Mike.
No. He cuts that weight and he goes back to where he dominated. He was dominated at featherweight.
Yeah.
No one could touch him there.
Can he get there? You saw Jack.
Maybe not. I don't know. That's one option. And the other one, there's a title he can fight for.
BMF.
170 pounds for that BMF title against Jorge Masvidal.
I don't think it looks so good for him, though. But I mean, I'd love to see that fight.
He's at the point where maybe he's not chasing world championships anymore. He's just fighting those big fights.
Yeah.
And so much we get caught in the title picture. Oh, this guy's not going to win a title. But he can still put on good fights, entertaining fights, get wins, and stuff that I want to see. There's still a lot of people I would like to see Conor fight. Even if he's not chasing that 155 or 145 title, there's a lot of people I like to see Conor fight.
For sure. It's interesting to see Conor get finished TKO KO. His kryptonite was the chokes, getting choked, the grappling, and now it's Dustin gets the KO, the TKO.
There was a, I guess we'll call me a MMA pundit back in about December who said that Dustin is kind of a better striker than Conor is, and I got laughed at a little bit for that. I think we got to give Dustin some credit for this too. It's so much focus on Conor McGregor. Dustin came out and beat his ass.
Yeah, I feel like it wasn't Conor striking looked like Conor striking. I think Dustin did a better job of figuring out that timing, and he was more durable.
Yeah, and then that could be
Conor did not take Dustin's best shots.
Right.
Dustin took Conor's best shots.
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, no. Conor took Dustin's best shot. This took him to the ground.
Well, yeah, you know what I was getting at. Yeah,
for sure. And Dustin after the fight, like he seemed almost like he had 1 foot out. With his press conference, what he's saying, he's like, I don't even like doing this no more. Yeah. I was in that cage. I didn't like it. The locker room didn't like it. He hated Fight Island, everybody. He hated being in Fight Island.
It's got to take its toll on American fighters. You know, dude, you're going over there. You're changing, 8, 9 time zones, 10
Well, he was there for 2 weeks.
Still, they say a day on average. Like, I went back and forth, and it's hell. Like,
yeah, he was there for 2 weeks, and he could not leave the hotel.
Yeah. And they're fighting at what time in the morning? 7, 8, 9 in the morning?
9 a.m.
Think about everybody else on the card starts at midnight.
Right.
There. Like, could you waking up at 4 to go fight, 3 to go fight? It's
strange. Yeah, it's a strange. I mean, that's why
it pays you've kind of seen that with some of these cards. Like, there's been a lot of these cards where dogs are barking.
Right.
Like, you know, that's where I've tried to kind of look at it in some of my picks. Sometimes I'm like, who's traveling the furthest? Who's traveling the least? Like, who's done this? Who's been there? Like, and that kind of had me even favored more McGregor's way because, you know, he didn't have the same distance. But
to kind of, you know, play devil's advocate, there's been times where Conor's coming from Ireland to fucking Vegas and he's beating motherfuckers' ass.
True.
So,
well, they always say going west is easier than going east. You know, as well. So there's those kind
of a man like
hoopla science to it.
How about Max Holloway coming to Vegas all the time from Hawaii, which is a big trip. So I mean,
like some people it's fine, some people maybe not so much.
So it's something that's part of the game.
Yeah. Man, yeah, it was like I enjoyed seeing Poirier get the win. It was an interesting. It was lots of different feelings going on there with that.
But it's also a difference between like a superstar, which Conor has become, and a fighter. Yeah, like that cage is. I mean, Dustin's got his hot sauce, which maybe we should try the hot sauce challenge next time.
Yeah, can't be as bad as that.
Yeah, but Dustin's a fighter. That's what he's there for. He's never gonna be the fucking the pop icon that Conor McGregor is. Yeah. Whereas again, Conor even pre-post was really calm, collected, and like, this is not fucking Conor McGregor. And I think he needs to get in that fucking maniac, not just to get in people's heads, to get him going for that fight. And he didn't have that.
What also makes you wonder, like I feel like Conor's had a lot of timing on his side, right place, right time. He comes into the sport at a good time to be in that sport, in that division. He enters that 145 division at a good prime time. You know, Poirier's just getting started. Holloway's getting started. They're all in their infancies of their career. You know, and then there's always been that argument of Conor was kind of fed what he needed to get fed because he started developing.
I mean, every great fighter has
this personality that was larger than life. Right. And like you're saying, it's kind of shadowed his actual, you know, abilities in the ring.
And I could just speak isn't just in regular life. Once you start having kids, and if you're actually an active father, that pulls you away from the gym a little bit more. That workout may be a little bit less intense. I might skip that one out. Then you factor in his clothing line, his whiskey business, and he's front and center in all these things. And you kind of almost like the Ronda Rousey effect. Like they're pulling you in so many directions.
And you think about it, the last time he's had to train for somebody he was not familiar with was what, Khabib? Right. You know, like he got Nate twice. He got Cerrone. Like he had to prepare for Cerrone, but it's not like, you know, Cerrone's.
That fight is basically right in his wheelhouse. That's almost like a batting practice pitch.
Yeah, Cerrone should have retired 10 fights ago.
And he'll walk right into it. If Cerrone wanted to take him to the ground and grapple him, Cerrone might have beaten him, but he doesn't want to do that. Yeah, we saw what he did with RDA. Yeah, but
do we think McGregor Diaz 3?
I could see that.
What about McGregor Ferguson?
You could see that. I just think that. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if that happened. What I was thinking about in my head was actually, we'll talk more about it in the next fight, but Hooker for Ferguson. Hooker Ferguson. I would go Poirier versus the winner of Gaethje and Oliveira. I'd have Chandler fight RDA, and then I'd have Conor fight Jorge Masvidal for the BMF title. And I mean, I think that's everybody wins there.
Conor gets another title.
And
if he wins.
My prediction of Khabib not fighting in 2021 might come true.
You think he's going to or not?
Not going to.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to.
I think he's done forever.
I think he's done. Yeah.
I think he's done forever.
Well, let's move on to the next co-main event.
So again, we kind of touched on it a little bit just a second ago. Chandler making his UFC debut, the former Bellator champion, veteran of the game, versus Dan the Hangman Hooker, who we both were very high on going into this fight.
I thought Hooker would, use his height, his range to outpoint Chandler, but it's like Hooker was stuck in the mud the whole time, it felt like, other than just, circling around the octagon.
And I agree with all those points about keeping his length and hold him at distance. I don't think Hooker really knew much about Chandler. Yeah. Like, he was trying to do a feeling out process in this fight, and Chandler doesn't do feeling out process.
Yeah, he pushes the pace.
He just steps forward, If Hooker would have kept that, again, up the middle with either a kick or a knee or something like that to keep him at distance and wear him down a little bit, he probably would have won this fight. But he tried to play the I'm trying to catch.
Every time I burp, man, a fucking nightmare comes back up. Caught in my throat.
That little nitro nightmare. But so yeah, and then Chandler landed that big hand, put Dan down, and apparently Hooker took his gloves off and threw him in the middle of the cage. I didn't see any interviews. Did he say anything after that?
I haven't heard anything of this.
I haven't heard anything from him from that. I don't think that he's done. I don't think he has more in him. You know, Chandler's a great fighter.
Yeah,
he
it's
proved
just
it.
going to be a hard climb, right?
I mean, Hooker.
And he's got some young kids himself too. Right?
When Hooker, you're in that top 5, top 6. You're not fighting. You're gonna lose some fights. You're not fighting any chumps no more. There's no more easy fights. There's no more fights that you're in charge. So if you're gonna fight guys like Michael Chandler, who's not ranked, but again, former world champion, you're gonna lose some of them. It's gonna happen.
Maybe some of these fighters like Dan Hooker's fought how many times he's fought quite a bit, and it's a lot of travel for him from New Zealand, right? New Zealand's not allowing sports.
Well, I definitely picked Dan Hooker. But one thing that scared me from that pick was that Poirier fight. Yeah, he lasted, but he got dropped a couple times.
Yeah, he was getting roughed up.
And when a guy like Chandler hits you and you get dropped, you usually don't get back up. Chandler and Gaethje would be a good fight to watch. I just think Gaethje and it'd be better for Gaethje and Oliveira for that title shot to go ahead and fight kind of the eliminator match. But if I saw a Gaethje and Chandler fight, sign me up for that one. Yeah, that's gonna be some fireworks in that fight.
I mean, I'd like to watch Chandler fight anybody at this point. He looked great.
I like the RDA matchup, the grappling versus the striker, with Chandler having good striking advantage. And RDA's, I know I'm not a grappling fan, but RDA's not a boring grappler.
Yeah,
he's I'm gonna create some damage while I grapple you. Let's go look at these. Khabib, sorry, good. You had a great career, son.
Where are we at?
Right up there on the left.
Yeah, RDA 7. So.
Yeah, I like RDA Chandler next. I don't think you should give Chandler a title shot yet.
I think if you make McGregor Ferguson, I think it would sell a lot though.
Oh, absolutely, and that's not a bad fight. I just think, Tony might be too, but I think Conor is out of that. You might just
go ahead and see
Connor's out of that title picture now.
Gaethje Poirier again rematch.
Poirier specifically said either a Conor rematch. He said he'd like to fight Diaz. He said Gaethje or even a Gaethje Oliveira. He said he doesn't want. He's not going to fight Chandler. He's like, I'll sell him and I'll sell hot sauce. That's what he said. I'm not fighting Chandler. And he's like, no hard feelings towards the guy, but he doesn't deserve it. Yeah. You don't get one fight against a guy who I just beat to fight me for the title, and that's not going to happen. Because Dustin's basically the de facto champion right now. He's the lightweight champion, so he can kind of call the shots. So yeah, Gaethje Oliveira was close to being signed anyway, wasn't it? It's just not official.
Yeah.
Let that go down. I probably have to say Oliveira wins that fight
over Gaethje.
I think so.
He gets it to the ground, yeah.
And Gaethje did not look too promising in his grappling against Khabib.
If Oliveira gets him down,
and I think he's gonna get him down. So I think we're gonna end up seeing Oliveira and Poirier for the lightweight title, probably sometime in the summer.
I'd probably have to favor Dustin in that fight.
Yeah, I have not learned my lesson. I've bet against Dustin Poirier almost every single fight except for Khabib, because I'm not going to. The only time I bet against Khabib was Gaethje that bit me in the ass.
These guys are all athletes. They're on the professional level. They're on the big stage. It's like football. It's any given Saturday at this point.
I just can't get. Here's a little bit of advice. If I bet against Dustin Poirier, guys, put all your fucking money on that guy, because he's going to win. Anytime I bet against him, I'm like 1 in 10.
You win some, you lose some.
This goes all the way back to Eddie Alvarez. Yeah. I've been losing Poirier.
As long as we stay above 500, we keep this podcast going.
Yeah. No, overall, I'm doing all right. But specifically Dustin Poirier, I can't get him right.
Yeah. Well, another kind of upset or went against your picks.
Oh, no.
No, we got this
we both had JoJo.
Yeah, we both had JoJo.
We both had JoJo.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything nice to say about Jessica.
Yeah. I feel like Joanne Calderwood still put on a somewhat decent performance when Jessica I had nothing other in her toolbox and then just try to smother her.
Yeah, it was.
And she was still able to land nice strikes from the clinch and work her angles and do what she could with what was given to her. But yeah, Jessica I made this a fight no one wanted to watch, and Calderwood did her best to try to make it somewhat entertaining.
That she owned the clinch, doubled her strikes up, put some damage.
And I just listened to her talk. So
and Jessica I like how long have you been fighting? She would get, every time they broke from the clinch, get shot with that elbow right in the fucking grill every single time. Not prepared for it. Like, you've been in that cage. You fought for the titles, and you don't know, like, that strike is coming out of a break. Like, you're not ready for something that's coming out of there. She's coming. It was, again, I'm not a fan of Jessica. I don't know how she ever worked her way up to fight Valentina. I don't know how that ever worked.
Selection.
Right. It's I hope she never
not
fights.
Not a whole lot going on there, but yeah, we can go right on to the next fight.
Yeah, I mean, JoJo was close to getting the title shot, so I don't know. Maybe she's after Andrade. I don't know.
Maybe.
This one was this is a pretty fun fight.
It was a decent fight. Yeah, had some slow moments, but it was decent back and forth until the third one.
Yeah, it's not going to go on any all-time great.
I would say it was, 19-19, 1-1 going in the third.
Yeah, for sure. Sanchez, great wrestler, but he actually looks pretty good stand-up. Former Ultimate Fighter winner.
Yeah.
Muradov, fun fact, the only UFC fighter signed to the money team.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how. I wish I was there. Yes. Yeah. I don't know how that happened, how they met each other. He's like from Uzbekistan or one of those one of those Ekistans, those Russian countries. I don't know how they came across each other, but Muradov is on the money team. A great striker. He has great hands too. It makes sense. He's on the money team, right?
Yeah.
But I wish I could have been there, that fly on the wall when Floyd met him and did the whole negotiation for that one. How they come across each other.
Yeah. That's the story of this whole fight.
Yeah, but Muradov got it done.
But Sanchez is
he's starting to build a profile though. He's a guy, as the fight progresses, he gets better and better and better.
Yeah.
His last two fights, the first round looks pretty even, which Sanchez might have won that first round. He starts piling on in round number 2, and he finishes in round 3. He's done like 3 times now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of his signature.
Sanchez is definitely going to be a candidate for the best stinky leg of 2000.
Dirty Sanchez.
Doing the dirty stank.
Well, this was actually the fight I think you guys called wrong. I meant to.
Yes, and we didn't have a chance to watch it either.
Right. So from what? Again, this was the whole.
Thanks, Uncle Dana.
Mr. Dana with illegal streamers knocking out people trying to buy it.
Yeah.
I was high on Hebas. I mean, I think UFC was too. They wanted her to win this fight for sure. I think she won. Well, from what I hear, she won round 1.
Yeah, on paper, this is a fight for her style to potentially win. And she implemented her game that first round. She had Rodriguez on her back, working from the closed guard, got the takedown. But then that second round, apparently, she stood a little bit too long in front of Rodriguez.
I think she lost respect. And anytime you do that in a fight, that's how you get caught like that. One of the most promising things I want to see, a lot of times, and especially women's MMA, you don't see that one-hit power that make people pay for something, mistakes like that. Yeah. So usually that's the better fighter overcomes over time. It's good to see that. Like, you fucked up. I caught you with that one shot and I put you down. I want to see that a little bit more in women's MMA because you don't really see it outside of the Bullet or Nunes or stuff like that. So it's cool to see that it's going to happen to women.
Yeah, and I still think you can make the fight Hebas and Watterson. Why not still make that fight?
That division is going to be a lot of back and forth, up and down. It's a really good division. That makes Shevchenko's reign a little bit more impressive. The fact that she has held on for so long. It's probably the best overall women's division from top to bottom. I know the top of the, strawweight is really, really good, those top 3 to 4. But this, 1 through 10, I mean, Hebas at 10 is pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, but Rodriguez getting pretty much 2 finishes in 1 round.
Yeah.
Controversial.
Referee controversy. When I saw that, what it looked like to me was Herb went in to see if Rodriguez or if Amanda was out and he was hovering, and then Rodriguez stood up and bumped into him, and I think that was the moment. He was
bumping her off,
right? And that was but he never, watching the replay, it didn't look like he ever put his hands on anybody to say anything, or and certainly didn't say, hey, stop the fight, whatever. I think it was just she was a little. And
Hebas messed me up in some DK lineups, some parlays.
I didn't really have much of her in betting or in DK, which kind of worked out. I had Rodriguez. Yeah. It set me up nice, Conor. But so I didn't really get to see this fight, so I really can't say much on it. I think Hebas still has a bright future. She's young. She's up and coming. She can work her way through a loss. Sometimes when you're that young, getting lost is a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we see what happened. A prime example is Gaethje coming to the UFC, gets 2 quick losses, and kind of refines his game and works his way up to that title.
People that turn it around after a loss and go on a tear.
Yeah, she's young enough to do it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's move on to the undercard.
Yeah. This was a fun one.
This is a good fight.
I enjoyed
this fight, yeah.
Sarukian's relentless.
He's big.
This is Well, he missed weight.
He's a big boy for 155.
This is the fight between guys whose dance partner canceled on last minute.
Yeah.
Favola was supposed to meet up with Ataman Azatar.
Yeah, who was smuggling people in.
Human trafficking.
Fight Island.
That was apparently scaled the. His guy has scaled the outside.
Yeah,
of the
cutting
hotel.
wrists,
taking off his wristbands, cutting.
He basically did what we used to do: sneak into bars.
Cut their wristbands off and handed them off to individuals who were outside of the safe zone, who were then snuck past security members. The whole ordeal was caught on camera. Yeah, and what Dana was saying is they went to a room and then scaled down like 3 or 4 stories, handed a bag to. As Azatar?
Yeah.
And then everybody got kicked out.
They did
Dana,
parkour and everything.
Yeah, Dana doesn't know what was in the bag. What could have been in the bag?
That's the
steroids.
You never ask what's in the bag or the box. You know
I guess.
I mean, do that.
Honestly, though, like, I'm not the biggest steroid expert. Steroids wouldn't fucking help you. You just take one shot before you go fight. It's not gonna fucking. Do anything for it.
I don't.
Maybe it could be some other kind of PD. I have no fucking
something
clue.
with hydration,
or I don't. Yeah, I don't know about. Like for sure, I'm not the fucking PED expert. But who knows? Like, this is a strange story.
Yeah,
this guy's up and coming, undefeated. Has kind of like the MMA world in the palm of his hands, and he just kind of dumps it out for some human trafficking.
Hopefully, it was. Yeah,
I get that. So that was that.
Yeah, so
that was who Favola was supposed to fight, and Sarukian's partner just didn't show up.
So it was Hasparat didn't supposedly he missed weight, and then something about Hasparat didn't show up to even weigh in.
Yeah, didn't come to Fight Island.
Yeah.
So strange story for both.
Yeah, they were trying to get in
both.
Contact with his team, see what was going on with that,
but they found dance partners, and it was a fun fight.
Yeah,
Favola's a tough bastard.
Short notice, he was game. He hung in there. He made it a fight. He made it entertaining.
Looks like the love child of Josh Barnett and what's his name, Paul Felder.
Yeah, the steamroller.
Yeah, Sarukian's great grappler, kind of coming from that part of the world, like a fucking relentless bear, just grabbing. If you block the one takedown, come the other. But this was something to look at 155, that division working its way up.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, let's get to this next one.
This is a fun one, too. It wasn't, again, nothing fantastic, nothing that's going to, did you see this happening? One thing I do remember is how great Tavares' takedown defense is, because Carlos Jr. is a big motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
I joked he kind of looked like that caveman guy that's always a character actor. I have no idea what his name is, but he's like in We're the Millers. He was in Year One. He's in like commercials all the time. He's fucking big motherfucker for that weight class, and Tavares did not let him take him down at all, because we all know what happened if it would happen. Carlos Jr., world class with jiu-jitsu.
Submission game.
Insane. So if that went to the floor, it gets bad for Tavares, and he just wouldn't let it happen.
Yeah, he only got one takedown in the whole fight.
Out of 12.
Tavares looked
12 attempts.
Tavares looked good, looked sharp.
Out of 12.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what I remember mostly about it. He was sharper in the striking for sure. We knew that was going to be the case, though.
Yeah.
But to Carlos Jr.'s defense, he's not bad in the stand-up. A lot of those jiu-jitsu guys, they come in, they look lost up there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's lost. He just couldn't get him down. Tavares had a good game plan and stopped Carlos Jr., and he won the fight.
Yep.
All right, what do we got next?
Juliana Pena, Sarah McMahon.
This
kind of went how we could see that going.
Sarah McMahon's career in one fight.
Yeah. Starts off strong, great
Jacked
control. Jacked, huge.
To the fucking gills.
Wrestles down Pena, controls her pretty much first round. Controls her in the second, but gets beat up a little bit from the bottom.
Maybe see McMahon Conor.
she might smoke
McGregor McMahon. She's this big fucking chick.
How about just an arm wrestling match?
She got fucking traps for days. She got traps like Goldberg.
Yeah. But then again, it just seems like there's maybe some cardio issues, some heart issues. She gets in bad spots and...
Well, I get. Well, yeah. Again, agree 100%. Like she has to do with that muscle. She has tons of fucking muscle on her body, and I wouldn't say but that's gonna take oxygen. It's gonna take you. Those muscle fucks don't wrestle or fight that well. Yeah. She dominated pretty much two rounds.
Yeah,
I was in control for the whole fight, and then she got gassed out. And whenever she gets put into a sub position,
I think they're saying like every choke she's been put into,
and not only that. I mean, I remember way back when she fought Ronda Rousey. The minute you put her in a submission, she tapped. She tapped. So, and she's talking about she was chomping at the bit to fight. I mean, she did look good. I can't say that. She actually looked better in the stand-up, too. She looked better than she has in that stand-up fighting. Yeah. But at 40, I don't know where that future is.
I don't think it's.
I think that might have been
not
the
looking
last
bright
one
for her.
Pena, though, are the top 10 now, working her way up.
Yeah, and she calls out Nunes, and Nunes hits her back.
Yeah.
Well, and I think she's training out of Chicago. So
yeah. So
Juliana,
come on by.
Vixen, come on the In the Guard podcast.
Let's talk. Let's chat.
Let's chat about how working your way up there from Spokane, Washington,
Maybe
Chicago.
Maybe you
could
work on try the little nitro challenge.
There you go. Yeah, you can be nitro challenge.
Maybe
with
you have
Tony.
better luck than I did. All right, moving on. Khalil Roundtree Jr.
The first robbery of 2021.
Oof. Yeah, I mean,
I had a 30-27 Roundtree.
I had a 29-28 Roundtree.
But if you look at them strikes,
Yeah, I thought Roundtree did enough in the first.
The second round, he almost finished him.
Yeah, in the second round, he had him hurt. I mean, there's no question Pacquiao won the third round, for sure.
That's the problem with not finishing a fight, though. The minute you let a judge make that decision. Again, I had Roundtree 30-27. I can see 29-28. He came the closest to ending that fight.
Yeah.
There was never a point where he was in danger from a Pacquiao or a chance to knock out. Yeah, Pacquiao had some strikes. But again, Roundtree was landing bombs when he landed. He had a weird demeanor going in there. I know he always kind of does, but he seems
kind of like you don't really want it.
I don't want to be there.
Yeah, I don't want to be there. I don't really want it.
I mean, he's got his best performance ever. I always go back was the Eric Anders fight. He was sharp, light on his feet.
He tore his legs up.
Man, that Muay Thai was on.
We didn't see any of that last night.
Nothing. He was, but just not even just like his striking was still sharp. Don't get me wrong. He looked good that back, but it's that bounce, that vibrance. He didn't have that.
Yeah, he just a step behind. Didn't want to be there. Didn't let his hands go.
And fighting is one of those things, man. If you're not 110% in, it's time to start thinking about.
I mean, it's easy for us to sit here and talk about it, right? But it's just like, man.
No, it's just almost for like his own good. Like, dude, if you're not, that's cool. You're not in it no more. Like, it's dangerous. You're going in here. I mean, that being said, he did, in my opinion, win the fight. So maybe I'm just talking on my ass. But
deeper in that psychology standpoint, like how much of his identity is wrapped up in this shit, right?
He's not that type of guy, though. He really is not. He was actually talking about retiring not too long ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with Roundtree. He had flirted about going to heavyweight. He's a big dude. He's definitely a big boy.
Yeah, he'd be small against some of those other heavyweights.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he was talking about a fight with Greg Hardy, though. It'd be a fun one.
Greg Hardy's gas tank might have a chance.
He would eat up his fucking legs.
This is a fun fight, I thought.
Yeah, definitely.
Early prelims.
Yeah, Nick Lentz gave Mobstar here a run for his money for a bit.
A guillotine.
Lots of guillotine attempts.
For 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mobstar is just a guy who's not going to do anything that really impresses you, but he's going to beat you.
But he's go. Non-stop that whole fight was just same intensity.
Good submission defense. Yeah. Because he was pretty deep in that guillotine. He got out of it like 2-3 times.
Like 7, 8.
Well, that one full round.
Yeah, you're talking about the deep one.
Yeah. Like he
looks like he got a big neck too.
Yeah.
He got a lot of neck to grab.
Mm-hmm.
And again, not the most powerful strikes, but he's sharp with them. And again, he's forward.
Relentless, yeah. But Nick Lentz, good on him for making it a fun, decent fight.
He's a vet. You kind of knew it was gonna be a struggle for Mozart. Probably the best guy he's fought.
Yeah.
If you remember back when Mozart was supposed to fight against Landwehr, I was big on Landwehr.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone sees why. I think Landwehr's got a shot for that fight. Because Mozart's not going to end it. When you're not going to end a fight, you have a chance guy to beat you. But, again, solid performance by him. Lentz almost had that guillotine, though.
Almost.
And then we had the opener, the fight we were supposed to get weeks ago. Amir Albazi.
This was a competitive first round.
Yeah.
And then after that, all Albazi.
Yeah, I mean, Zalgas is just pure striking. Pure 100% striking. Albazi, wrestler / submission artist by trade. He won the stand up in this fight, though. I think he had some new tools. He'd been working on the stand up, and he wanted to show it off against a guy who's technically a better striker.
When he did get to show off his grappling, it was good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. 2 out of 3 for takedowns. I had Albazi picked. I was just one of my. The night started off really good for me, and then once that robbery by Khalil Roundtree, it was downhill from there.
Yeah, we started 2-0, and then it was just
Albazi's got a bright future. Kind of reminds me of Ilya Topuria, the same type of style.
A little bit.
Very, very good with the wrestling grappling, but again, he also showed today he could stand and bang. He could stand and bang with a guy who's got power. Now Zalgas doesn't really put the combinations together too much. He looks for that one punch a lot, but he
got kind of an awkward style.
But he fucking hit.
Yeah, I'd say all in all, it was a fair card. I think the last 2 fights really saved it for the most part.
Of the 3, the first one was the best card.
Yeah.
Yeah. By far.
Yes,
sure. Wednesday happened. We're not going to cover it, guys. It happened.
Yeah.
We watched it.
Yeah.
There's really not much to write home about from that card.
Yeah.
But
all right, well then let's
look to the future.
I think we touched on this a little bit last week, but February 6th, UFC Fight Night.
That right